For the all alcoholic beverage applications, Fernando E. Silva of the Holy Ghost Society for Holy Ghost Park at 65 Village Street, Saturday, August 9, 2008, from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight will be a wedding reception. Sunday, August 10, 2008, will be from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. as a picnic by the Holy Ghost Society, which will be an outdoor event. Saturday, August 23rd, from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m., a car show, also an outdoor event. Friday, August 29, 2008, from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., the Loretto Feast, outdoor event. Saturday, August 30th, 2008, from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight, the Loretto Feast for an outdoor event. Sunday, August 31st, 2008, from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight, the Loretto Feast, again an outdoor event. And Monday, September 1, 2008, from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., the Loretto Feast, an outdoor event. Also for the Holy Ghost Society, there will be Saturday, September 20th, from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m., a dinner, that is the Portuguese night. Sunday, September 21, from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m., a wedding reception, a wedding anniversary, excuse me, and Saturday, September 27th, from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight, a wedding reception. Also, application for all alcoholic beverages by Penny Hammergast for Saturday, September 6, 2008, from 3 p.m. to 12 midnight. The event is the Music and Arts Fest to be held at the parking lot at 152 Worthen Street. Also, George Bernardo of Four Seasons for all alcoholic beverages for Saturday, September 13, 2008, requesting also a rain date for Saturday, September 20th. The hours would be from 9:30 a.m. to 12 midnight. The event is the Four Seasons 4th Annual Bike Run Block Party within an enclosed area in front of 375 Central Street, and also for all alcoholic beverages, Robert Arcand for Sunday, September 21, 2008, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. The event is the club outing barbecue at the parking lot of the Pastime Club at 371 Moody Street.
Is Fernando here? Yes, Fernando, how are you? I didn't see you dressed as, Penny's not here yet, okay? Bernardo, George Bernardo, get up here, please. And Bob Arcand. Yep, okay. Step up to the mic, introduce yourself, please. The only one that's not here is Penny. Okay,
Robert Arcand, Vice President, Pastime Club.
okay,
George Bernardo from the Four Seasons Restaurant.
okay. Got a few outdoor events coming up, Fernando, excuse me. I got one till 1 o'clock in the morning. Is that dinner going to be inside? You got one event at the Holy Ghost for the license till 1 in the morning. September, yeah, the 20th of September. It's a dinner.
Yes,
Okay, that's going to be inside, I would trust.
yes, the Portuguese.
Okay.
That's inside of the hall.
All right. The ones that are running to midnight, I don't think anybody, the car shows, what kind of cars is it? Antique cars, old
Yes,
cars?
it's a car show. We did that last year too.
What kind of cars? Hot cars?
It's a mixture of antique cars,
Oh, yeah?
all upgraded cars. It's pretty
Okay. The one that, the midnight ones, the 1 o'clock, those are the ones that we're concerned about. Once you get past that 10 o'clock at night, that's kind of your crucial time. So, I know you'll be observant of the noise outside. The ones that are running to midnight outside, we just want to, a friendly reminder, think of your neighbors, after 10 o'clock at night, okay?
Yes, it's one here till the Sunday night till midnight, but that's going to be the music will be till 10.
Okay, that's, I'm sure the people watching are going to love you, okay? All right. Mr. Bernardo,
Yes.
have you done this before?
Yes.
Outside?
Yes.
Bike ride, have we had any problems with it being outside?
No, we never had a problem.
No problems, that's what I like to hear. Okay, Mr. Arcand, tell me about, have you done the outing
Yes, we
You
have.
been in charge of it before?
Partially.
Partially.
This year here, I'm going to be fully in charge.
This year, you're gonna be fully in charge, okay? You understand this is your, if we issue this license, this is your license, it's not the club's license.
Correct.
You can't have people going in the club buying drinks, coming outside, drinking them outside. They're two totally separate entities. You've gotta control the area that you're serving alcohol.
Yes, sir.
The commission has always been concerned about outside parties and festivals. They add a lot to the city. We personally think it's a great idea because it keeps people in Lowell and they spend their money in Lowell. And certainly the clubs, just like these other clubs, make tremendous investments in our community, not only to themselves and their own membership, but to other charities and whatnot. So, we encourage people to do it. We don't say these things to scare you, but you need to understand that unfortunately, we go today and people say, oh, get them a sombrero. They're 19, it'll be okay. And if you're not watching that idiot's the one that's going to get you in trouble. Because they're not going to ever say, if that person falls down or that person gets in a car accident, it's my fault. I gave him the drink. Oh, no, it's your fault because you know what? You were trying to raise money for Mother Teresa or whatever it was. So you need to make sure that everybody that you have working this, not just the people standing at the bar actually serving the drinks, but everybody that's involved with it, we get together as a team, huddle up, just listen up carefully. We all have a responsibility to our club, to our membership, and more importantly, to the citizens of Lowell, to make sure we don't put some drunk driver out there on the street. So let's all pull together on this. We'll make $1 million, and I say that with all sincerity. I hope you do, but we'll make $1 million and we'll all go home happy, okay?
Yes, sir.
So as long as you all understand that, Penny didn't come in, did she? No, but she's done this before, so we'll make her come over later. All right, any questions?
I
Right?
have no questions.
Ryan?
No questions.
All right.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion made?
I'll second that motion.
Seconded? Motion made and seconded, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
You're all set, guys, I hope it works out great for you. Take care.
Gentlemen, please stay for those of you who have amplification applications.
Anybody that has amplified sound?
All right, and we took care of Hammergus as well on that?
Are we gonna, well,
I mean, she's done, she's had the licenses before.
she has,
Yeah.
but let's wait and see if she shows.
All right.
If not, maybe it'll move me at the end of the meeting,
Okay.
But we don't want anybody we need to make sure that it's a constant reminder. Okay, is it amplified sound next? Thank you.
Commission will now take up the matter of application for special events permit for amplified outdoor public entertainment. Fernando E. Silver of the Holy Ghost Society for events at Holy Ghost Park at 65 Village Street. Live music with sound system for the following events for Sunday, August 10th, 2008, from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. A picnic by the Holy Ghost Society. Saturday, August 23rd, from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. a car show. Friday, August 29th, 2008, from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. the Loretto Feast. Saturday, August 30th, 2008, from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight the Loretto Feast. Sunday, August 31st, 2008, from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. the Loretto Feast. And Monday, September 1, 2008, from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. the Loretto Feast. Also, George Bernardo of Four Seasons, a disc jockey with sound system, enclosed area in front of 373, 375 Central Street, for Saturday, September 13th, 2008. Rain date would be Saturday, September 20th. The hours would be from 10 a.m. to 12 midnight.
Okay, step up to the mic, please. Introduce yourself for the record.
Fernando Silva, Vice President for the Holy Ghost Society.
George Bernardo from the Four Seasons.
We just want to make sure everybody knows you're still here,
If I could say something. Now, Fernando, not last meeting, but the meeting before, we had a complaint about the sound at the Holy Ghost. And I was up here actually defending you because I said, they have the All-Americans baseball game is at Alumni Field and the Riptide softball and whatever's going on at the stadium. But this past Sunday night, I'm sitting at my house at 9:15 at night, and I can hear what's going on at Holy Ghost Park like it's being played in my living room, and I live about a mile away. Now, I didn't call the police and lodge a complaint, but I knew I'd have a chance to address it here. I know I haven't been on the commission as long as Chairman Bayless, but I know at one point there was a routine where you went out to the edge of the furthest point of the Holy Ghost Park and checked the sound. You gotta start doing that again.
We purchased a meter, and we did a sketch on a paper, and we will do that, starting that on this Sunday. And with the police officer, they will sign that paper, and we'll go with us and check the sound.
There you go.
That's all. I don't wanna rain on your parade or
We
anything.
will,
I'm just trying to,
Because of the last meeting that this happened.
okay.
And we follow your opinion, and
Yeah,
that's
we,
what we're doing right now.
we did bring it up at the last meeting, and
Okay.
it's kind of good that you reaffirmed it. We did bring it up because, again, you know, it's like saying, give Penny the license when she couldn't make the meeting, and she's had licenses and everything, but we like, you know, they have to give up some time, and we want to sit here, and we want to just remind you. We're not trying to beat you down. This commission is pro-business. We're not trying to beat anybody down. We're trying to remind people of the obligations that they're under. You know, that's all it comes down to. So I appreciate you doing that, and I think that's going to solve your problem. Walk out to the original thing was, I guess the original agreement that I remember was they went to the end of Corley Stadium parking lot, wasn't it? The furthest corner there at Corley. But as long as you're doing something to try to, you know,
Now, we're
that's
gonna
what.
do it, and we're gonna keep it on record.
Yep, there you
So
go.
that way.
Okay.
We know what we stand.
Yep, and the same with you, George. The thing is, you know, it's common sense. It's common sense. You know, if you can hear that music 5 blocks away, it's probably too loud, you know? I mean, it doesn't take a brain trust to figure it out, okay? So, that being said,
I'll make a motion to approve the licenses.
I'll second the motion.
motion made and seconded, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Okay. Next on the agenda. What's this one for?
This is one we continued from last time.
Oh, is this the place? Oh, this is the place on, I'm sorry.
Brian may want to. Commission will now take up the matter of a hearing that had been continued from the meeting of July 24th, 2008, on the application by Say LLC, Mark Caputo, the member, for a malt beverages and wine packaged goods store license for premises at 177 Merrimack Street, there being an unnumbered door on the north side, retail floor space approximately 1,800 square feet. It is requested that Mark Caputo be approved as the manager of record for the Say LLC.
Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, George Cielides Jr., 133 Market Street, Lowell, and I'm here representing the applicants this afternoon.
Okay, and the applicants?
I'm sorry, go ahead, Mark.
I'm Mark Caputo.
Okay.
From Sestel LTC.
Faith Chatran.
Okay. We continued this because of the structure and everything. I'm going to, I think I'll prefix my remarks by saying that, you know, traditionally I have been against setting up, I judge a package store or a liquor license by the is there a need type. That's the question the state of Massachusetts asked. Is there a need? And if you remember at the last meeting, I told him that, you know, I would not necessarily go along with this because there is a package store in downtown. They will tell you probably that I walked in on them Friday afternoon prior to the folk festival. I was very, very impressed. Very impressed. I think it's something downtown's needed. It's a whole new concept. They're not opening a package store per se. It's a gift shop, and it's going to be what I thought was a a pretty nice gift shop. It wasn't really put together when I was there, but I was telling my wife about it, and I'm sure she'll be down to. But the point is that I wanted to, say right up front that I've changed my position on that, having looked at it, and realized that this isn't when we get into a beer and wine store, you think of beer and wine in the sense of selling it with groceries and whatnot. I think it's a really, and it's a nice store, it's well kept. I don't know how you did during the folk festival, I hope you did all right, but, I wanted to let my fellow commissioners that I changed because my commissioner to my left here likes to let the market find its own way. So that being said, I'll turn it over to him.
I know, I am, like as you said, a big fan of the market-based theory that, look, if there's a need, the consumers will decide if there's a need. If you offer crappy product at high prices, nobody's going there. If you offer something that people want and in a setting that people want, people are going to come to your store. So I think whether or not there's a need will be determined. People will vote with their wallets and quickly give us some feedback. And, if there's no need, I have a feeling you'll be in here like turning in the license or not renewing it next year because there's no money in it. So, again, I've also been to your store. I went by there on the Folk Festival weekend. I liked everything I saw. It seems like a nice setup. And I'll turn it over to Commissioner Occasion if he's got any input or questions.
I reviewed the application. Everything looks great. I wish you guys good luck. I don't want to steal the chairman's line, but you are pretty close to Lowell High School, so make sure you keep a good tab on who's coming in and make sure you take good IDs. And if you have a question, don't sell it. It's better off denying someone than selling it to someone underage. But good luck. Okay.
All right, with that, I'll make a motion to go ahead and grant
May I
the
just say something, because the commissioner took all my thunder, and if I don't put 2 cents worth in, I'm not
Don't
going to
worry,
get paid.
George. You won't get a rebate out of it. Don't worry.
Okay.
Please.
Okay, just quickly, Mark lives downtown, so he has now a double investment in downtown.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very big plus here, too. And so between the two of them, they have a lot invested here, and I think they put together a great place, and we hope you agree. Thank you.
Okay.
And
Go ahead.
I'm going to abstain on this because I wasn't here at the prior meeting when the public hearing was held.
Okay. And did we do backgrounds?
I believe everything is compliant.
We
and
took
is-
it the last time? Okay.
Yes.
Anything else you can think of?
No.
No. Okay. Motion made by
By me.
and seconded by me, and all in favor say yes. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Good luck. Best of luck. Thank you very much. Great idea.
Store, right.
Commission will now take up a matter by hearing on an application for a transfer of a all-alcoholic beverage restaurant license from Jumbo Enterprises, Inc., DBA Acres Sports Bar, Dennis R. Mercier is president, to a corporation known as The Old Place, Inc., Lawrence J. Valcourt, president, for premises at 282, 284 Fletcher Street, one unnumbered door to the west side of the building. The first floor is one room for restaurant lounge, basement for storage. It is requested that Lawrence Valcourt be approved as manager of record for The Old Place, Inc., and applications for minor licenses by The Old Place would be common victular, entertainment for disc jockey and jukebox, and automatic amusement device.
Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, James Flood, I'm an attorney, 81 Bridge Street, Lowell, Mass., representing the applicant. And with me also is my son James, who's working on this, and also Mr. Valcourt. And
This is Mr. Valcourt?
Mr. Valcourt.
Okay. Is everything all right?
I believe in order to comply with other laws that this matter should be discussed in executive session.
Okay.
I'll make the motion to go into executive session.
I'll second the motion.
Commissioner Weicker?
Yes.
Commissioner Bayless?
Yes.
Commissioner Ocasio?
Yes.
We will, it's 20 past, we'll be back at 25. 25?
It'll be relatively short.
25. Okay. Motion to reconvene?
Commissioner Weicker? Yes. Commissioner Bayless?
Yes?
Commissioner Ocasio?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to make a motion to continue this matter until August 21st.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commission will now take up a matter of a hearing on allegations of misconduct as charged by Kenneth LaValle, the Superintendent of Police. Communication is dated June 18, 2008, against the licensee, the Under Impact Pub and Lounge, Inc. Emily Quiones is the manager of record. An all-alcoholic beverages restaurant licensee at 160 Merrimack Street, Unit A.
Well, excuse me for a second. Oh, it's in, I'm sorry. I'm looking in there for it, and it's in here. Sorry about, there it is. Okay. Introduce yourself for the record.
George Theolides Jr., 133 Market Street, Lowell, and I'm representing the licensee, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Have you read, and the people with you introduce themselves?
And with me, I'll let them introduce themselves, the manager.
Emily Quiñones, manager at the Under Impact Pub and Lounge.
Okay.
Jenny Delbray, treasurer of the Under Impact Pub and Lounge and bartender.
Okay. All right. Have you read the complaint?
I have.
You have. Have they read the complaint?
They have.
Do you want it read into the record?
Oh, not necessary, Mr. Chairman.
You waive the reading of the
Correct.
complaint. Okay. Tell us your side of the story.
Well, when I say what I'm saying is, are you putting it into the record without my having the opportunity to rebut it? Because then I am objecting to it, of course.
No. I mean, we're looking for you. You can rebut it. I mean,
Well, will any of the police officers be here to testify?
Sergeant Seops is here. I have the police reports. I don't know if you just want to take a narrative from Sergeant
Okay.
Seops.
We'll do that.
He was here.
I think when they took a break, Mr. Chairman.
We said we'd be back by 25 past. You guys have watches. Okay, can we just suspend him for a second while they're trying to find the police officer? Penny,
Sure,
was
we'll
Penny
step
up here?
aside, Mr.
Huh?
Chairman.
All right.
We'll step
Will you allow that, Penny?
Thank you.
You didn't make it at 3 o'clock. We'll put a little mark on the paper beside your name. Go ahead, Mr. Secretary.
For the sake of brevity, in terms of what Ms. Hammergas has for the commission to consider as a application for all alcoholic beverages and also for amplification of sound permit, both for the same date. That would be Saturday, September 6, 2008, from 3 p.m. to 12 midnight. The event is the Music and Arts Fest to be held at the parking lot at 152 Worthen Street. The amplification would involve live bands.
Okay, introduce yourself, please.
Penny K. Hamburgers, Worthen House Cafe.
What kind of art are you gonna have? What,
Various paintings. There's different artists put displays of their paintings. This is the second year. We did this last year as well.
really? Okay,
And local bands.
okay. Is this like walk around with wine and look at the painting, or is this like an open bar? I mean, not open bar in the sense that it's free, but, I mean, what,
Well, basically, between 3 and 6, we open it up to family environment. You can come with your children. But after 6, we do card, make sure everybody's 21. It's kind of hard to control. You can walk around, yeah, you get it. It'll be beer truck, a bar.
are you blocking the street?
We're not blocking the street, but we're blocking the parking lot.
All right, so the parking lot is going to be
Oh,
an
it's,
enclosed
yeah,
area?
yeah, absolutely.
So you're gonna have
Okay.
somebody at the door and somebody there, and nobody's gonna carry drinks across the street, you're gonna say, you gotta buy it, okay, okay. So it's strictly the parking lot, it's not
Strictly the
like a
parking
block
lot,
party.
yes.
Okay. Any questions?
I have no questions.
I have no questions. I know you guys have held outdoor events, and I don't think I've ever heard a complaint.
I just
I've
never
heard
knew you had an
compliments,
art
but
one.
I've never heard of complaints. So, unless there's anything from the city? All right. With that, I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve both licenses for the alcohol and for the outdoor amplification.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Thank you, and I apologize again.
That's no problem. Okay. Did you read this complaint? I'll make this, I cannot tell you all, but the under, did you read this one? Oh, yeah. Tell me about it, what is it, before you're in trouble for? Yeah.
Having people present after hours, because unless we passed a law allowing people to arrest and detain who are bouncers. Last time I checked, we didn't pass any laws allowing bouncers to arrest and detain people. Hey, well, what bounce is gonna do that? What bounce is gonna do that? No. I wouldn't. I do whatever that, just go outside. Get out.
What else, wait a minute, let me just see for a second, George. Excuse me. They are? Okay, okay, no problem. Okay, well, what we'd like to do, or what we were, is have you give us a brief, introduce yourself for the record and give us a brief outline of what happened.
I have a request, Mr. Chairman.
Huh?
I have a request. May I sit in there? As you know, I have a hearing problem. It's a lot easier for me if the witness is standing here.
Sit in there.
Yeah, that would be fine.
You
Please
can have
come
the
on in, have a
witnesses
seat.
sit beside you.
Okay. If you want to have your clients come in, you can bring them as well, yeah.
They can pick them up. Do it at the city council meeting.
Good afternoon. I'm Sergeant Thomas Seals with Lowell Police. I'm one of the listed officers in the complaint.
Officer Oscar Gomez, Lowell Police.
Okay.
Would you like to give me my...
Yeah, just give it in your own words.
Okay. It was a Thursday night, technically a Friday morning, at 1:51 a.m., all units from Lowell Police were dispatched to the Shattuck Street area, Shattuck between Middle and Merrimack Street for a large fight. I arrived on scene. I was probably the third or fourth car there, and there was in fact a large fight. People fighting, several different fights, all different factions fighting. When it got under control, probably 5 to 10 minutes, we seemed to have everything pretty much under control as far as who needed to be arrested. I proceeded to the under impact because I was able to ascertain from various groups in the crowd that the crowd came from the under impact, which made sense. Close proximity, and there's no other areas, no other bars coming that way down Merrimack Street. So I proceeded to the under impact. I probably got there, I want to say about 10 past 2. I went into the under impact and I asked the owners what had happened tonight. And actually I had asked the manager who identified herself as Emily Conones. She had told me that they had a small altercation inside, and the bouncers took care of it. They threw the guys out. I explained to her that there was still an altercation outside, a crowd that had said that they had been in the under impact. And I believe it was her brother who was the doorman or the bouncer. He identified himself as Angel Canones, and he said that I asked him to describe who was fighting, one of the kids fighting. He said it was a guy wearing, I don't want to misquote him here. The guy was wearing, one guy had dreadlocks, a brown shirt, and a beige and black checkered shorts on. And I advised him that that person he just described was being treated for multiple stab wounds, and that individual was taken to Leahy Hospital in critical condition. I had explained to them that they needed to call us in the event they have an altercation inside their bar. People generally don't stab each other when the police are dispersing a crowd, and they did not do that. Their story had changed that, oh, well, it really wasn't a fight. It was just a pushing, but it wasn't a knockdown, drag-out brawl, which is what we were able to confirm through the crowd. It's pretty much a push fight type thing that they just pushed out their door. And the rest is, what happened at Merrimack Street. While I was in there at 2:10, I did also observe there was a few drinks on the table, and there's about a dozen people in there. As a matter of fact, exactly a dozen people. I counted 12 people. I asked the manager who the 12 people were. She said, oh, they're employees. I said, well, do you have pay records, or do you have time cards for all 12 people? And she said, well, they're not really employees. He's with her, and she's with him, and whatnot. And I said, well, there's some drinks on the table. She said those drinks were from the customers, but the floors had already been mopped, or they're starting to mop the floors. It didn't seem to add up that they would not clean the tables before they mop the floors. So I assumed that the people who were in there were consuming alcohol after hours as well. I was able to confirm afterwards with some members of the crowd who were in the police station giving statements for the criminal investigation. Two people who I actually got the names that did confirm. They're the only two people. I got the story from numerous people that there was a fight in there, but there's only two people that gave a statement to our criminal bureau. It was an Arsheen Yanes and a Ray Fernandez, who both came into the station and gave statements about the criminal investigation. And I was able, when I passed them in the hallway, just to bolster my report, I asked them what had happened, and they said that there was a small altercation inside the bar just prior to the big altercation that happened outside. And finally, there was I don't know if we were able to conclusively determine, but the knife used in the incident appeared to be a knife that I personally believe was probably taken from the bar, and that it was a kitchen-style knife. It wasn't a hunting knife. It wasn't a folding knife. It was a kitchen-style knife, one that wouldn't normally be carried on one's person. It didn't look like the kind of knife that you'd carry in a sheath, or the type that had a folding blade. So I asked our criminal division to investigate the possibility that this knife was possibly taken from the under impact. Once again, I don't have any hard evidence to confirm that, but that was my suspicions at the scene because of the timeline and the proximity of the type of weapon to the crime. And that's all I have for you, Commissioner.
Okay, thank you. Do you want to tell us your observation?
Basically, I showed up the night of the fight. There were people everywhere. I believe there was a total of 3 people stabbed in the incident. Like the sergeant said, all stemming from the incident inside the bar.
Okay. You want to stop? Well, we were just going to ask him a couple of questions.
One, if I could just
Yes.
add one, I believe the report from Superintendent LaValle talks of over-serving. In speaking with the officers, I don't believe over-serving is part of the investigation that they saw. So that was a Scribner's error or typo, but
Right.
that isn't part of the case, but that was included in error on the superintendent's report.
Okay. Okay.
So the only thing that we're considering today is the 204 CMR 205 about permitting an illegality in the establishment?
No, in the License Commission letter that was sent, it was that 204 CMR that you referenced. Also, there was failing to follow by the License Commission's policy of calling the police when there's a disturbance or disorder. And also, I believe there's a citing for what I would consider to be, or just call, after hours at the bar. That's also listed.
Why don't we just deal with them in order?
Where is that, just so I know?
Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, right here. There's the complaints. Okay. Okay.
Let's take them all. Let's take them in order. Start with the after hours portion. I think that's the easiest.
Okay. You want to start it?
Officer Phelps, you said that you made the assumption that people were drinking the alcohol. Did you see anybody consuming alcohol when you came in?
No, I didn't. No, I just saw it.
And where were you said there were about a dozen people in the place?
Yes.
Okay.
They were all towards the bar. If you walk in the bar, the bar's to your left, if you walk in, there's a little, I don't know what you'd call it, like a little opening to the right. There's about 3 or 4 people sitting there. There was somebody cleaning, and there was some people sitting at a small table. That's where the drinks were. They were sitting at a small table right next to the bar.
You said that you entered the bar at approximately 1:51 a.m.?
No, we got called to the scene at 1:51.
What time did you enter the bar?
I looked at my clock. When I showed her, I want to say, during our discussion, I said, it's 2:10 and still drinks out there. So
And it's your testimony that there were drinks out, but there was no one actually drinking at 2:10?
Well, I had come down a set of stairs. They had plenty of time
Well, that's not the question I asked. The question I asked was anyone drinking at 2:10 a.m.?
I can't determine that. I can't testify to that.
You said that you asked her, what were all these people? They said they were employees.
Yes.
Okay. And then when you said, well, do you have time cards you could show me to prove it?
Yes.
She changed her story.
Yes.
And this was after 2 o'clock?
Yes.
Okay.
Did we identify who the people were that were not employees that were present?
No. No, I did not.
Do we know if any of them were like rides home or anything like that?
Probably, yeah. They probably all had, a moderate, interest in being there.
That's okay, but they still shouldn't have been in the bar. And last call should have been at 1:30. At 1:30, they should have dispersed the crowd right then and there. I mean, that part there, I'm not one of these guys that are going to sit here splitting hairs on this type of thing. I don't do that. Okay, whether they like it or not. The bar should have been closed at 1:30. They should have had their last call. They let people finish their drink and then send them along their way. For you to get a call at 1:51 and go, and I could understand, and I'm going to even go so far as to stick up for them on this. I could understand if there had been some problems, you would lose track of time trying to control, not watch the clock, and maybe, you could understand that. But if the policeman asked me if all of these were employees, I would have said no, right then and there. If I had nothing to cover up, I would have just said, no, they're not. They're people with the excitement, I didn't get them out of the bar. That's simple enough. That doesn't take a brain trust. No, they're not. All of a sudden, they went from employees to, this is friends out. They all know. They got no business in the bar waiting for a ride, waiting for their friend to finish cleaning up. The only people that we allow in the bar after hours is the person that's doing the money and the person that's cleaning the bar. That's it. And they're not even supposed to take a drink when they're in there. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not saying that they were, but it bothers me that, it's like we're splitting hairs here. If the people had been forthcoming and said, gee, in the excitement of things, I forgot to get them out of here. But they didn't. They were smart enough to say, oh, no, they're all employees. So I'm saying to you, I know I'm doing something wrong right away. That's my comment on that idea, okay?
Counsel, do you have anything you want to add? All right, questions you want to ask?
Pull the mic down, George, so everybody can hear your
And
lovely voice.
make sure the green light is on. or
Yeah,
else it
make
won't
sure the
pick up.
light's on.
I got a green.
There you go.
I got a green light. So, if I may,
Yep.
I'd like to go through, I'm going to save some time, and as I go along the way, I'm going to tell you what my clients would testify to if you wanted them, and they can sustain that. I've talked to them. I've gone through the 9 pages thoroughly. I've had a thorough discussion with them as to how it all goes. And you know what, Mr. Chairman? I'm going to start off by saying to you, you're absolutely right. Technically, we had too many people on the premises at the time, but I'm going to tell you why as I go through this. And I
But
understand...
understand where I'm coming from, George. It isn't the why. You got to understand that. That's what bothers me about these types of calls. Hear me out. Hear me well.
Absolutely.
I'm not fooling around on this. I made a promise to myself. Nobody will ever walk through that door and point a finger at me or any of the commission if I can, and say, if you'd done your job, my daughter would still be alive. Let me tell you something. They tried to cover it up. They tried to cover it up. They were smart enough to right away come up and say, oh, they're all employees. And then when they were questioned further by the police officer, now they say, well, you know, there are other excuses. That bothers me, right? We're setting the wrong tone.
I'll speak to that issue,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman. And first of all, I can assure you, Mr. Chairman, that no one's ever going to say that Chairman Bayless didn't do enough to protect the people and the citizenry from any serious harm here. I can guarantee you that, anyone who follows this commission. But let me speak again to a couple of issues. One of the charges is their failure to call after and the words of the statute, I should put my glasses on, it'll make it a little easier for me, of the CMR,
Right.
when a disorder, disturbance, or illegality takes place. Their testimony would be, and all we have here is from a couple of witnesses who haven't even been there, and I was going to ask in cross-examination, but I'll ask it out loud here, if there were witnesses who were the only people who can say that there was supposedly an event in there, I don't see any written statement taken by these people, and that's certainly a critical element of what was there. What my clients would testify to was there was a yelling match. And what Emily, the manager owner and one of the co-owners, did immediately when her brother bouncer called her attention to it, she went out. This was somewhere between 1:30 and 1:35 in the morning. She went and said, you've got to continue to clear these people out, and that's what they did. Now, what I also don't like about the inferences that are taking here, and this is just one man's opinion, for someone to say that this is close by and the only bar, Mr. Chairman, you live, and members of the board, you know what downtown is, you know what other places are around. The Athenian Corner is closer, the Dubliner is closer, arguably Paradiso is just as close, and the one across the street, Fortunato's, and I think I've left some others out. This event took place on Shattuck Street, not on Merrimack Street. There were other events that did as well and took place later. There is absolutely not a scintilla of evidence or even a claim in this 9-page report that Sean McDougal, who was one of the victims, was even in my client's place and the other party in the fight. No, if there was a fight. There was no evidence of that person ever being in there. We all know, and this is part of what I'm going to just say, wrapping it up later on, that there are a lot of people downtown these days. It's a good news, bad news situation. We've tried hard to do a lot of positive things in Lowell, and we have done a lot of positive things in Lowell. That's why it's such a vibrant, wonderful place. But with it comes some other problems. But I just want to, if you bear with me, address. Emily would testify to you that she acted and reacted as quickly as possible. Did she fail to call the police, as charge number 1 is? Yes, but in her judgment, the event, the yelling match that was taking place inside of her place, and there's no one that would here to contradict that testimony, was just a yelling match and no physical blows whatsoever. Secondly, the failure to call, well, I talked about the failure. So there were 2 things. Charge number 1 is charge number 1 is permitting a disorder, a disturbance, or illegality to take place. She didn't permit it to take place. It spontaneously was an event that happened. You know, I went to the dictionary, Mr. Chairman, to look up the word permitting. Yeah, go ahead, but I was taught that in the Oakland school. Don't do anything until you go to the dictionary. The definition of permitting is that it's allowed to be done, tolerated, afforded the opportunity for, or grant permission. She certainly didn't do any of those or any of the management to have this event take place. And she reacted immediately after that. And by the way, the definition of altercation, also from the dictionary, is a heated or angry dispute or argument. Everyone's been using the word.
Well, you just said there was an argument, George.
That's right. So there was.
So it's an altercation.
No.
George, read the definition again.
Mr. Chairman, the allegation was there was physical action here, and there wasn't. There was yelling. I admit there was yelling.
And she permitted it because she didn't make that call, George. She allowed it to happen because she didn't.
Because there were a bunch
call.
of people yelling, Mr. Chairman. If every time somebody yelled in a bar,
the guy might not have got stabbed.
If every time say that again, Mr. Chairman.
The man might not have gotten stabbed. The thing might not have gotten out of hand.
What's
you don't think it spills?
With all due respect, Mr. Chairman, what's grossly unfair here is to say that the four, and they were all a member of the family. I read this thing very careful. The four foreign Floridians visiting Lowell, and one of them was involved and stabbed. These four people leave the establishment, go elsewhere, and 20 minutes or half an hour later, the timeline is that they get stabbed. There's nothing, as I said, number one, to say that Mr. McDougal, the perpetrator, was in my client's place and the other person involved in this. And secondly, there's nothing to say that the fact that they had a yelling match in the house, in my client's place, should in any way precipitate a stabbing 2 blocks away. So, I understand. I'm not saying the stabbing was good or nice. I'm just saying there's no nexus, no connection, as the law says. Thirdly, Mr. Chairman, well, we already spoke that there's no evidence of anybody intoxicated being served, and my clients would testify to that too. We spoke to failure to call police. Allowing the non-employees on the premises, I told you I'd address that again. Yes, there were 2 people that were non-employees on the premises. 4 of the young ladies who work in the establishment are between the ages of 20 to 30 years old, and 2 of them came here from Boston. The 2 people that were there were escorts to take them back to Boston, and yeah, they made the mistake of letting them stay while the girls cleaned up before they left. We admit to that, and we're sorry for that. Serving after hours, obviously, as already has been pointed out, there's no evidence of that. Just because I don't even know if the floor was mopped before, and with all due respect to the officer, I appreciate what he's saying, but I don't think there's any expert way of cleaning a bar. I don't think there's anyone that says you do the floor first or the tables later or whatever. The evidence was clearly that by their own testimony, the glasses and whatever were put on 2 different tables in 2 different areas. They were obviously being taken together. No one was being served after hours. And there was also another charge, which I'm sure maybe Attorney Leahy would like to drop as well, because there's no evidence in the 9-page reports there, of removing alcoholic beverages from the premises. Not one iota of evidence in the report, not one piece of testimony, no nexus whatsoever, not even any talk about somebody having a bottle or a glass or whatever. So, in summation, Mr. Chairman, some awful events have been happening in downtown recently. We all agree. This is your city and you love it. It's my city and I love it. And no one likes to have those kinds of things happen, and no one's been a better keeper of those problems than you, Mr. Chairman. But the fact of the matter is, as I alluded to it a little while ago, unfortunately, with all of the good things, sometimes the bad things come, and we can't be sure of all the people who are attending. The key is that my client acted quickly when she thought there might be a problem. She made sure the place was cleared out, and she cleared them all out. She made a mistake, as I've indicated, by not calling maybe. That was a judgment call, but, you know, again, a difficult situation. Certainly no nexus, as I said before, Mr. Chairman, between the event and the fight later down on Shattuck Street. And I don't think any reasonable person can expect that a shouting match in an establishment would end up in a stabbing later on. I also think it's unfortunate that the statement appears both in the report and by the officer's statement that the knife, and no one has ever proven, by the way, from anything I've seen here, that the so-called knife used in this thing was in fact the knife that was there. There was a knife found at the scene. It could have been thrown out the door of the Athenian for all we know, but no one has ever proven that there was any nexus there or connection. Certainly, the police could have had a blood test done on it if they wanted to at any point, if they cared enough to try to determine whether or not there was a connection between that knife and that thing. It was taken as evidence. They have it. Let's see. That's it, Mr. Chairman. Again, I want everyone to understand, I don't want my clients to be sort of the fall guys for what is a sometimes not pleasant situation downtown. They have a huge investment. They want to make sure that everything operates properly. They're not going to put their licenses at risk in a situation like this. So I ask you to consider all the facts, and maybe some form of probation is in order for your gentlemen for the fact that they arguably should have called the police when that happened and had 2 people on premises. I think that in the totality of the situation, when you look at what they were doing, they thought in the best interests of their employees, having the 2 people who were driving to Boston stay there instead of out in the street, or having the girls go out by themselves, meet somebody in a parking lot, because as we know, there's no parking on Palmer or Merrimack Street exactly in front of that place. I've had my say, I thank you.
Excuse me.
Counselor.
I have a couple of questions for
Certainly.
the officer, and then I don't know whether or not Ms. Keonis would answer a few questions, but I would have questions for her. With respect to Sergeant Seops, can you explain the location between the individuals who were in the bar and the alcoholic beverage that you saw inside the bar?
There's a small table, a short table you would have regular-sized chairs at. It was to the right side when you walk in. There's a wall there, and there was people sitting on both sides of the table, and a few drinks there.
Were the drinks in front of those people at the table?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Keonis.
Are you finished with him?
Yes.
Can I ask him a quick question?
Sure, absolutely.
So, but you said they knew you were coming, and...
Yeah, no one's lips were on the bottles.
They knew you were coming.
Yes.
Hearing you come down the stairs.
Yes.
Don't you think they might have moved to a table where there were no glasses or anything like that?
Can't speculate on that. I'm not going to speculate on that.
Well, I'm just telling you, sir. Thank
Okay.
you.
Counselor?
Ms. Keonis, I'm sorry, which one is?
This is Emily.
Am I pronouncing your last name correctly?
Yeah.
Keonis. Did you tell Sergeant Seops originally that the people all worked at the bar? Okay.
Yes, I did.
Okay. And you shouldn't have said that, right?
I know, but when he came down, he knocked the window on Palmer Street. Then my brother went and opened the door for him. We didn't even know they have a fight by subway. We didn't know what's going on outside because when we closed the door, everything was clear.
Right. But when he came down and asked you if everyone was an employee, you did
Yeah, I
say
said yes.
Okay.
I did.
And that there were mixed drinks and open bottles of alcohol out at the time when...
There was only bottles. What we do is, our employee at the end of the night, we get all the bottles from the floor and we put it next to the door, the exit door. That's in front of the bar. Then the bar bag full of the boxes to make everything clear and prepare for the next day.
Okay. So the bottles, were they beer bottles that were out?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you tell Sergeant Seops that there had been a small fight at about 1:40 a.m.?
No, there wasn't a 1:40 because if you see the time, he said they called him at 1:51.
Okay. Did you tell him that there had been a small fight inside the
No,
bar?
I didn't say there was a fight. There was a small argument. There was yelling. There wasn't a
Okay.
big fight or nothing like that.
Did you tell Sergeant Seops that the bouncers took care of it by throwing 2 guys out of there?
No, we throw everybody out. We clear, like I stopped the music. I was bartending that night with her. When I hear my brothers yelling, like stop arguing, I tell her don't serve nobody else. I went stop the music from the DJ and we start clear everybody out. Then me and my other 3 bouncers, we went outside. We cleared the sidewalk. There wasn't anybody around there.
Okay. Did you tell Sergeant Seops that the bouncers took care of it, of the argument? Did you tell Sergeant Seops?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you also tell them that they threw 2 guys out of here?
No, I didn't.
And that, did you tell them, or excuse me, were you present when, is Angel your brother?
And it's my brother.
Were you present when Angel told Sergeant Seops that one of the individuals who was thrown out had dreadlocks, a brown shirt, and beige and black checkered shorts on?
That wasn't my brother who told that. It was me who said it.
You told,
Yes.
you told him that, okay. And you told him those were one of the 2 guys that got
Yeah,
thrown
I
out?
told him he asked me who was the one who was arguing, and I described one of them. That was the one with dreadlock. He came from Florida.
Okay. And at this time, June 13th, 2008, this was approximately 4 months after you were previously before the License Commission for serving an underage person?
Can you answer the question?
Sure. June 13th, 2008 was approximately 4 months since you were in front of this License Commission regarding an underage person drinking at your bar?
Yes.
Okay. At that time, do you recall that the matter was placed on file for a period of 6 months?
Yes?
Yes or no? You either remember it or you don't remember.
No, I didn't understand the question.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I
All
understand that.
right, thank you. That's all I have.
That's all? Ray?
All right, just so I'm clear, nobody is arguing that there were people in there after. Just so I'm clear, nobody is arguing that there were people present who were not employees after 2 a.m., correct?
Correct.
The dispute is whether or not they were consuming alcohol?
No.
Well, that's the disputed issue. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. And nobody's arguing that there was some altercation of some degree on the premises involving this Floridian who matches the description of the guy that was subsequently arrested for later stabbing
He
somebody.
was actually the victim, Commissioner.
The victim was the
Right.
Floridian?
You're right.
Okay.
It's
I'm
tough
sorry,
to
man.
figure, because there's a million...
I know, I'm looking through here, and I think there was, but was his sister also arrested for
Well,
stabbing somebody else?
Yeah, they were. But
Okay.
the interesting thing is, obviously, there were some either mistaken identities or who knows what they were doing with their IDs. But if you look at I think it's the last page or the second last page, you'll see that the victim, the actual victim, though originally thought to be William, what's the last name? William Beasley. That's my wife's maiden name, by the way. Originally thought to be William Beasley, was in fact determined to be Mason Beasley. But there were 4 Floridians. 2 of them have the same birth date. I assume they were dates. I mean, twins, a boy and a girl, and two other brothers. They were the victims.
Anything else?
You have anything else?
Yeah. Now, under Impact Pub, this is what you're doing for your business, correct?
Yeah, that might, yeah.
Okay. And you've made a significant financial contribution to this piece of property? Okay.
We own both. We own the real estate and the business.
You own, okay. So this is serious business?
That's my living right now. I'm a single mom. That's my living.
Okay. Okay. Now, being an attorney, I try to piece things together and hear all the facts and try not to jump to too many conclusions. And from all the facts that I've heard and the allegations alleged, I can't see how we can put this all together and say that it was as a result of anything that the Under Impact Pub did. Yes, you had people in your establishment when they shouldn't have been there. But I don't see any evidence that the stabbing and the melee that occurred outside had anything to do with what went on inside the Under Impact Pub. I know Solicitor Leahy pointed out the fact that you served an underage individual a while back, but I don't see that alleged here. I don't see any facts that allege that, so I don't think that has any bearing on this whatsoever. Also, I think Officer Seope said that he talked to some witnesses in a hallway at the police station, and he said there was a small altercation. There was no whether there were punches thrown, whether it was a verbal altercation. He just said small altercation. So, although the statute says you should call, maybe you should have, maybe you shouldn't have, but I think you took the right step to shut off the music, stop serving everyone, and get everybody outside. You're protecting your asset, which is your business and your real estate. And I think you did a good job in that. Maybe next time, just to cover yourself, you should probably call.
Right now, we have an officer every Thursday night.
Okay, all right. So you're taking steps to correct this measure?
Yes, I think.
Okay, so you understand the severity of the allegations alleged against you? Okay. And do you guys serve food at the Under Impact Pub?
No, but we always keep snacks. We sell like chips, peanuts,
Okay.
things like that.
Would there be an abundance of knives floating around at your place?
We have only like 2 knives.
Two. Okay, but
the whole
with
place.
the Fortunatos being there, and Cafe Paradiso, and the Blue Shamrock, and the Athenian Corner, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, I think it's a hard leap, or a leap of faith to say that a knife came from the Under Impact. So, in my view of this whole thing, yeah, you shouldn't have people in the bar, and you know that. And you shouldn't, next time maybe you should call if there's even an inkling of a fight. I think you did the right thing by getting people out, but all these allegations are serious, but I don't see how they can pin, or how I can vote to find you responsible for these serious allegations.
If I could just respond or give I guess a closing, that the stabbing is not part of the allegations. Yes, that's collateral that's out there, but no one is saying that the stabbing took place inside the bar. It happened outside the bar. What we're here before you right now is the conduct that went on inside the bar by the bar owners. The reason that I asked questions regarding the prior matter in December, and it is noted in Executive Secretary Wynn's notice to the bar owners, is it gives them an incentive as to why they told Sergeant Seope something that wasn't true originally. I think what the evidence shows is you have cups, you have mixed drinks, at least you have open bottles of beer admitted by the bar owner in front of the individuals after 2 o'clock. The burden that has to be shown is whether or not there's satisfactory proof. The city would argue that proof has been made with respect to failing to call for an altercation or a fight or some instance in there, and for an after hours, people drinking there who aren't related to the establishment. Those are essentially an allowing or failing to quell a disorder or disturbance. Those are the only 3 issues before this commission. There's nothing involved. I mean, the knife, the stabbing, all that, that really is just background that really has no place in this hearing, because again, it goes to what's outside versus what's here, and what's here is limited to those 3 issues that I just mentioned, and I wanted to point that out.
But with all due respect, she herself admitted that she described the guy to a T. So obviously, he did something in that bar to call attention to himself.
Absolutely.
Did you go to Catholic school?
College.
You go home, tell your mother, your father, the nun hit you. He'd haul off and give you another good one and say, you had to have done something to attract attention to yourself.
Well, I think
Okay?
we'd call Division of Youth and Family Services
Is that
or
what it is?
something like that nowadays.
Okay.
All right.
The point
Should have been
here
removed from
is,
the home.
you know, I listen to counsel and the thing. Okay, you know, we've all had enough time to put our stories together. Right here, okay, it says, when asked when asked about the altercation inside the club, the manager replied there had been a small fight. She didn't say there had been an argument. She didn't say that they'd been screaming and howling. She said there was a small fight. Now, I venture to say to you that if that small fight had been handled properly, instead of throwing the problem out on the street and letting the people that live in the downtown area and the other bars that are in the downtown area suffer because of this, it would have ended right there. If the police had been called for the small fight, I don't remember when a bouncer, had that right.
I agree with you.
The ordinance is very simple. Pick up the phone. We have told people before, program your phone with the police phone number. So the moment an altercation takes place, you press that button and you say, I need a policeman. And if they had done that, this would have never progressed to this point.
Well,
never.
I think we can only say maybe on that.
Well, maybe.
Maybe.
But I'm
All
going
right,
to say,
I'm going to say this, that, all right, I don't expect any bouncer to effect an arrest and hold people until police
Right.
arrive.
Exactly.
Because unless we're going to step up and make everybody who's a bouncer a special police officer and give them arrest authority and indemnify them, I mean, I'm not ready to say that, their job is to hold somebody there until the police officer arrives. All right, they'll be sued. They'll end up giving the bar to some drunk who's got a knife in their pocket.
Right.
I mean, I'm not in favor of that. So.
Well, I'm not
and
in
I
favor
don't
of
know
the
whether,
bouncer, but...
I don't want people running around who are not police officers making arrests and holding people. It's nothing but a recipe for disaster for downtown Lowell.
Absolutely.
I mean, God forbid we have bouncers running out into the street, then what are we going to do next? Let them pick and choose who gets, I don't want to, there's a reason we send police officers to an academy to get that training, and I don't want bouncers running around making those decisions. So, if picking up the phone, calling the police, that I can say, but putting it on a bouncer to make a decision to hold somebody, or saying that, had they done that, it would have prevented.
I'm not saying the bouncer shouldn't have. I'm saying that the police should have been called to stop it. The bouncer what's he going to do? That's what I'm agreeing with you wholeheartedly. The bouncer doesn't, he can go over and say, hey, knock it off if there's an argument. But this says, he said there had been a small fight. Obviously, we've all had our chances to sit here and, change the verbiage a little, but you know what? Whether it was a shouting match or whatever it was, if it got to that level, a policeman probably should have been called. And we can't lull these people to sleep to let them to believe that the next time something like this happens, maybe the bouncer can quiet it down. Okay.
My concern is just that, once they're out of the bar, what do we do? All right, obviously you're not going to have somebody held there. So if they're removed from the bar, what do? We hold them outside the bar? Or do we hold them until somebody arrives? And if they wander off and get into a knife fight, which from my reading the report was not just 2 people, you had 3 stabbing victims, you had 4 people from Florida, you had people coming in from Nashua, New Hampshire who were all involved in this. This was more than just a one-on-one altercation that went outside and heated up. Apparently it was something else, and it's running at the time when, you remember, we're forcing all the bars to start pushing people out at 1:30, so we've got how many bars emptying out into downtown all at the same time? I would venture to guess, based on my own experiences, that on any given Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, downtown at around between 1:30 and 2 o'clock, there's 150 people on the street at any given time during that half hour. So I'm kind of concerned about that, and I don't know if the solution is that we require bouncers to attend some kind of training and have the city prepared to step in and indemnify them in the event that they have to hold people, because maybe that will stop people from going out and getting into these fights. But, the bottom line is we also have we have X number of people who are on duty at any given shift. They're not going to be everywhere. And I'm not going to throw it on the police and say,
but
you
let me
guys
ask
didn't
you a
get there in
question.
5 minutes after a report
If you've been
happened.
called to that bar for a fight, for a disturbance, what do you do? What is a standard operating procedure?
It's a regular thing. You go that way, you go this way. We have the resources, the people, and we make sure that one person would have ended up in Kearney Square and the other person would have ended up, at Dutton Street. That's what we do. We disperse the crowd. We know who the troublemakers are, like that. We
But
make
unless they're both parked in the same location and have to go back to their cars.
we still make sure they go a significant distance. We're pretty good at it.
No, I mean, unless you have anything else, I mean, I don't have any problem finding that you had people on the premises after 2 o'clock who were not employees, were not supposed to be present, and that you did this while you were on a 6-month, filed, basically, period of probation for serving an underage person. And for that, I would recommend a 6-day closure to be suspended for a period of 6 months, meaning that anything else comes in, you shut down for 6 days, and I would go further and make those all have to be Fridays and Saturdays. So,
Are you making a motion to
I'm
that effect?
making a motion to that effect that, it's a 6-day closure for Fridays and Saturdays, suspended for a period of 6 months, because we did already have a violation. They got caught in an underage sting, and this is clearly having somebody in afterwards.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
No. No.
And on the issue with respect, do you have a motion with respect to the issue for failure to call?
I didn't know we're gonna look at them, each one of them separately?
Oh, I thought we were taking.
I thought we were taking the
all
whole thing.
four.
I
Okay.
thought that's what you were doing.
All right. No, I mean,
If that's what
if
you're
you
happy
wanted-
with,
If you wanted
that's...
to vote that issue separately, I mean, that's fine.
No.
Okay.
Okay, so it was for all four, okay.
So if I may, members of the commission, just so I understand your action at this very moment, based on a motion by Commissioner Weicker, second by Commissioner Occasion, that it would be 6-day suspension, suspended, that it would be a probation of 6 months, and that if the licensee were to be in violation within the 6-month period, any closure would be involving only Friday and Saturdays.
Yes.
Okay. And that
I
was...
think Fridays and Saturdays are appropriate because those tend to be some of the busier nights downtown, and that would take some of the stress off of downtown.
Okay, and so the vote was in the affirmative, Commissioner Weicker, Commissioner Occasion, and negative was Commissioner Bayless. And so therefore the motion passes. Members of the commission, first thing this morning, the Lowell Police Department filed 2 letters dated, first being dated August 4th, 2008, allegation of misconduct against the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee Tyler Perry Corp., DBA The Dubliner. Lorene Lucier is the manager of record for premises at 197 Market Street. Also, communication dated August 5th, 2008, allegations of misconduct against the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee Europa Cafe, Inc., Joseph Samo, manager, premises at 547 Central Street. Arthur H. Ryan Jr. is the acting deputy superintendent of police and had signed both communications on behalf of the superintendent who was away from his office at this point in time.
Make a motion, we bring him in.
I'll make a motion that we bring him in for the September 4th hearing.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, on the September 4th meeting, I'll need both of you here because I have a conflict interest on the Dubliner.
And I guess I previously disclosed to both of you that my expectation is I will be here.
Yeah.
Unless anything changes with the family situation, in which case then I will let you know in advance.
Okay.
That would sit on a necessity.
So if in the event Commissioner Weicker is unable to be at a meeting scheduled for the September 4th, Commissioner Bayless would have to sit on a matter to do with the Tyler Perry Corp.
Right.
Okay. And both communications to notice of hearing for each licensee, is it the board's desire that I include a statement to the effect that they're, for purposes of, in accordance with Chapter 138, Section 12, where a licensee, where the licensing board is considering a decrease in hours, it should be duly noted on the notice of hearing. The board would be considering such possible action, and it has to be a minimum of 14 days prior to the decision to take that action.
So moved.
Yes. So
Okay.
Yes.
Also, under the report of the secretary, I have received an application for transfer of the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant license from Fury's Cafe Incorporated. Kathy E. Leary is the administrator of the estate of Alan C. Dodge to a corporation known as FC Restaurant, Inc. Robert A. Fairbairn is the fourth, the treasurer for premises at 51 Fletcher Street. Out of respect to the counsel who has apparently had been legal counsel to the Furies, and to the fact that there had been some anxiety on his part to have a matter heard before the board on a transfer of this license, the application that came by way of another counsel is not quite up to, it's not satisfactory in my reading of it. Nonetheless, I did communicate with that office regarding the paperwork and requested that they consider amending the application in certain ways. But the legal notice is scheduled to be published in tomorrow Lowell Sun newspaper with the hearing to be held on August the 21st. I hope the commission is not put out by that, but I just wanted to make that point known to the board that if in fact the hearing is to be held on August the 21st and the matter that I perceive as needing to be addressed is not addressed, the board hopefully will be able to take the necessary step to request counsel to further review it.
Have you told them that it's
I've communicated by a way of, this is an odd situation from the get-go. It started about 2 months ago.
Yep.
I've been getting calls from certain legal counsel, downtown counsel, on the matter of Furies. He says, have they filed the papers yet? Have they filed the papers? I said, not yet. No, I haven't received nothing. So finally papers came in. I spoke with paralegal on the matter, dealing with certain parts of the application. I assumed that the certain parts that I discussed with the person would be added to the application. When I received the application, it wasn't to what I was expecting to receive.
Okay,
Part of it
well,
is trying to do,
you know,
trying to make do the right thing.
They're gonna pay for the ad, and if it's the application...
It's costing them the ad. They're
That's
paying
right.
for the ad.
It'll
Right.
cost them the ad, and we just won't hear it. Okay. I would say that, what are these folks here for? Oh, for the, okay, all right. Okay, the hearing's gonna be on the, 4th. Okay. I'll be here, but on the Dubliner, I won't be sitting on that one, unless one of the commissioners, Ray's father's very sick. If he doesn't make it, don't worry, I don't have a problem whatsoever of sitting on it, except that my business has a funeral home, and I've had dealings with the family, so I don't want an appearance of any type of conflict of interest. So I just wanted to let them know now that I wouldn't be sitting on it, and I know they'll make every effort to be there, but the hearing will be the 4th. Okay? Brian? Anything?
No, nothing else, Mr.
Anything? The one thing in this that I read in these complaints, okay, that I'd like to convey the message back to the chief. On behalf of myself, I think I can speak for the other two commissioners. A lot of folks don't understand how it works. Policeman goes into some of these places, they're doing something wrong. He gives them a warning. He tries to work with them. Unfortunately, people that serve alcohol sometimes, I don't know, maybe the fumes affect them or something. I don't know. But when you read a report and it says there's been numerous calls made, but yet this is the first written report that we've actually, or written complaint that we've actually got. I think the general public, the taxpayers, deserve a better shake. They truly do, okay? Because they call in and they think nothing's being done. And and I know that, they'll go to the bar and say, hey, we got some calls last night, the place, you got to get this place, and you're trying to work with them. Just as the people that buy the homes, make investments inside the homes and fix them up, the people that have businesses, cafes or whatever it is, they have big, Brian said it earlier to that lady, they have a tremendous investment. They owe the building and everything. If you strip them of the license, they're in tough shape. But somebody's got to make them wake up. And so if you could run the 2 complaints to find out prior to the September 4th meeting, how many times they've been, calls have come in on them, so that we could have an idea. And if there's some way of kind of getting the word to the policemen, you can only give them so many breaks. After a while, they don't look at it like you're doing a favor. It's like the guy speeding in a car. He's going to talk till he's blue in the face and he gets out of the ticket. What's he going to do 5 minutes later? He's going to speed again. But you know what? If you bag him, and he has to pay a $250 fine, and he has to pay $200 a year for, 5 years? For 5 years, it's going to be a long time before he forgets and puts the foot down again. So, there's just something to think about. Sometimes that, I know the police try, I know that for 100%, but I think that sometimes you can only warn them so much.
I'll bring that message back,
Okay?
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Anything else? Do you agree with me, what I'm saying?
I agree with you.
I agree with you.
Okay. All in favor?
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
Seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes, we're coming home, Benjamin.